Just as he's drowning in legal bills and in desperate need of cash, Donald Trump's net worth has unexpectedly soared after his failed social media company went public in what experts are calling an unsustainable bubble that is divorced from the reality of the business. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. I don't need to tell you, Donald Trump needs cash, and he needs it ASAP. The guy's been hawking Bibles on TV like he's trying to raise money to go to Jesus camp. The New York Times reported this week that he spent more than $100 million on legal fees. Now, I don't know what Trump's current lawyers are doing with all that money, but I can guess what his former lawyers would do with it based on what they're doing without it. Rudy Giuliani, who recently declared bankruptcy and declared debts totaling $500 million, posted a video of himself this week behind the wheel of what I can only assume is either a convertible or a car missing its roof, under the caption, "Driving with the top down." All right, I think I'm out on this Thelma and Louise reboot. Knowing Rudy, he would probably miss the cliff. By the way, driving with the top down sounds like a euphemism you'd use about Rudy Giuliani. I don't know if you should hire that guy. Let's just say he's driving with the top down. Also, who's holding the camera in this video? Who in their right mind would get in a car with the guy who mistook the Four Seasons landscaping company for a luxury hotel? He probably thinks these road signs are suggestions. Oh, you know what that means? We gotta drive crazy now. Don't worry, the next sign says, "Only Rudy's allowed." So Trump desperately needs money. Now, Trump has spent his entire life wriggling his way out of seemingly impossible jams, but surely there's no escape hatch for him this time, right?
More breaking news tonight involving Donald Trump. His media company, which of course includes Truth Social, soaring in its first day of trading on NASDAQ, surging 56% at one point during trading to $78 a share before closing at $58.
Trump now owns 60% of the new Trump Media Company, or roughly $78 million a share, a stake that is on paper at this hour worth $4.6 billion.
The higher the stock goes, the higher that Donald Trump's net worth is. At yesterday's close, Trump's net worth, according to Bloomberg, a little over $7 billion. It went up by $4 billion on Monday alone.
That's right. Trump doubled his net worth in one day after his otherwise worthless social media company went public. This brings us to a segment called Seth Tries to Laugh About a Thing That Is Clearly Making Him Crazy. I don't understand. So he doubles his net worth out of nowhere based on a worthless business just in time to pay off the hundreds of millions he owes in fines from lying about the value of his... I don't get it. This has been Seth Tries to Laugh About a Thing That Is Clearly Making Him Crazy. Now, you might be asking yourself, Donald Trump has a media and technology company? And the answer is no, he doesn't. What he has is a dumb Twitter ripoff for MAGA trolls called Truth Social, where he posts insane typo-riddled all-cap screeds. You may have seen one of his posts when someone else screen grabs it and then puts it on Twitter. Truth Social has been an abject failure, has lost millions of dollars, and is hemorrhaging users.
Experts warn the stock is extremely overvalued, saying its staggering multi-billion-dollar valuation is likely a flash in the pan. Truth Social has been racking up huge losses and as of last month only had some 494,000 active monthly mobile users.
Truth Social is tiny. We're talking about less than 500,000 monthly active users on iOS and Android in the United States. For comparison, X, the company formerly known as Twitter, it has 75 million users. Even Instagram's Threads is 10 times bigger than Truth Social. Not only that, but Truth Social is shrinking. Monthly active users are down by 51% year over year in February.
Trump Media generated just $3.4 million of revenue through the first 9 months of last year, according to filings. The company lost $49 million over that time period.
The only way this business could be any more of a failure is if every time you open an account, you got a free Zune, a bottle of Crystal Pepsi, a Blockbuster card, a Motorola flip phone that came preloaded with a MySpace account, and a round trip next to the door on Alaska Airlines. So just to recap, not only is Truth Social a tiny business that generated only $3 million in revenue while losing $49 million, it's also shrinking, with unique visitors down 20% and active users down 51%. Its revenues are so small, and this is true, it actually qualifies for the federal government's definition of a small business, which has revenue ranging from $1 million to over $40 million. By comparison, here's how much money Squatty Potty, the plastic step stool you put your feet on while you go to the bathroom, made after it went on Shark Tank.
Squatty Potty's partnered with over 20 major retailers. We're also in 20 countries all over the world. We've now done $175 million in sales since Shark Tank.
$175 million for something that helps you compared to Truth Social, which I guarantee is something Trump does while he Trump's stock market windfall has nothing to do with the reality of his business, and that's obvious to everyone. It's just a buying spree fueled by Trump supporters and traders capitalizing on the enthusiasm of Trump supporters. I'm willing to bet most of the people investing in this company have never even used Truth Social. Here's an exchange from Fox News in which host Jesse Waters claimed he used the site but wouldn't prove it.
In the last 9 months of 2023, Truth Social generated $3.4 million, and it lost $49 million in that span. The valuation, which is $11 billion, compared to Reddit, right, something that we've all been on, right, their valuation was $6.4 billion. So you think that a site that has less than 500,000 users, I mean, this is what, these are facts.
Money? All these valuations are ridiculous, Jessica.
Okay, then he's the game. It's like GameStop, right? It's
you know what?
No?
You know
Well, it's
how you
actually
look
not,
at this?
because
You
I'm using
look at this.
Oh, you're on Truth Social?
I'm on Truth
Show
Social.
it to me.
I'm not having you look at my phone.
Show me your phone.
How dare you?
Why won't you show her your phone? Oh, is the only app Candy Crush, and do you have it downloaded twice? Seriously, Jesse, why won't you show us your phone? Is it because you're afraid we'll see the video you took of Rudy driving his car? Trump himself seems to have no idea how the business works. For example, the special acquisition company Trump Media merged with is listed on the NASDAQ rather than the larger New York Stock Exchange. But when he tried to explain why, Trump offered a mind-boggling and nonsensical answer.
Truth Social is doing very well. It's hot as a pistol and doing great, and it's going public. And the New York Stock Exchange wants to have us badly. And I told them, we can't do the New York Stock Exchange. You treat it too badly in New York. We don't want to do the New York Stock Exchange. And the people at the Stock Exchange are very, very upset about it. The top person is mortified, can't believe it. He said, I'm losing business because of New York, because people don't want to be in New York and they don't want to go to the New York Stock Exchange.
All right, a couple of things. First of all, the top person at the New York Stock Exchange is a woman, so that story's obviously made up, unless Trump is claiming he had a conversation with the bull. The top person at the Stock Exchange came up to me, big bull, strong bull, huge nuts, tears in his eyes pouring down to his solid bronze snout, and he said to me, he said, Mr. Trump, sir, the reason I'm frozen in place is because I'm so scared to be in New York. Second, the NASDAQ is also based in New York. Third, you don't need to literally live in New York to list a company on either the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. If Swiss company Nestle wanted to trade on the NASDAQ, the CEO wouldn't have to move from Zurich to a studio apartment in Bushwick. But I don't have room for all my delicious chocolate. I'm going to assume the CEO of Nestle is a gnome, and if it's not, don't ruin it for me. And yet, despite the reality of the underlying business, the stock debuted at nearly $7 billion in value, thanks to a buying spree from Trump supporters, which does not mean it'll stay there. The stock's value is based entirely on one thing, which is Trump's brand. And in its own SEC filings, the company admitted Trump could tank the value. They wrote that an adverse outcome in one or more of the ongoing legal proceedings in which President Trump is involved could negatively impact the company, and that a number of companies that were associated with President Trump have filed for bankruptcy. There can be no assurances that this will not also become bankrupt. Sell. No, that was for a different thing. I thought this was foolproof. Jesse Waters uses it. One expert told CNN that the stock price is clearly a bubble. I'm reasonably confident the stock price will eventually drop to $2 a share and could go even below that if the company blows through the money it got from the merger. Oh man, $2. If that happens, Trump's going to be
hot as a pistol.
In fact, That's basically already happened to Trump. Trump once had a publicly traded company with the exact same ticker symbol, DJT. The company went public in 1995, and then this happened in 2004.
Trump Hotels and Casino files for bankruptcy.
His Trump Hotels and Casino empire have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The filings list $1.3 billion in debt.
And that was when he had actual stuff, like real buildings. Now, all he has is a website where he misspells words like Budden and Grest, a real thing he did this week on Truth Social. No other successful company does that. I've never logged on to Amazon and noticed they accidentally spelled their name with an extra O. The paper value of Trump stock is wildly divorced from the reality of the underlying business, which is an abject failure. There's a good chance that eventually the bubble will burst. It all hinges on Trump, a guy whose businesses have filed for bankruptcy 4 times and who's in so much legal trouble his house was raided by feds looking for classified documents and yelling,
"Show me your phone."
This has been a closer look. Hey, I hope you enjoyed a closer look. And if you didn't, why are you still watching? Why would you stay for this part? Anyway, did you know that we also have something on our show called Corrections? We tape it right after the audience leaves on Thursday, and right after our cameraman, Buck, does a whole tank of nitrous. It's full of inside jokes like that you couldn't possibly get unless you go all the way back to the beginning. That's right, I'm not telling you to watch Corrections starting today. I'm telling you to go back and watch from episode 1. If you miss even one, the whole thing is It's easily over 20 hours at this point. It was nominated for an Emmy in 2021, in 2022, and never again. So the arrow is pointing down. Corrections, it posts every Friday. Give it a look. And oh, one more thing. I wrote a podcast with my brother. Yeah!